yesterday previewing the opener.
We're excited about our opportunity. Our opponent this week we're very familiar with. Obviously, it's in our state. We have familiarity. Their head coach and I have worked together for 4 years in the past. And they have a very talented roster. You do your homework about the recruiting classes and certainly the players that they've added to their team in the portal. So this presents a great challenge.
The Gators and Hurricanes will kick off this Saturday at 3:30. You can hear the game live on 1010XL. It's 89 degrees at 2 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Attention.
They are not ready for prime time.
Prime time.
Prime time.
Prime time. That's the name.
Prime time.
Prime time. What time is it? Showtime. Prime time.
It's XL Primetime. Featuring Joe C.
Why in the world am I sitting back and being quiet about this?
Matt Hayes.
Oh, my God. This is ridiculous.
And Leon Searcy.
If you can't hang with the big dogs, stay on the porch.
How you like me now?
I'll tell you what, at least as far as today is concerned, they separated the big dogs from the pack. And we have gone from what was to what is. 90 men in camp and throughout the offseason. There were guys that came and went, but a total of 90 that this team was working with, and they now have whittled it down to 53. We're going to roll through it, and I don't think we are done. But welcome in. Roster cuts have to be finalized by 4 o'clock this afternoon, and you guys have probably caught little bits here and there, but we'll definitely tear through it with XL Primetime's take on it, that's for sure. We got our head coach, Dave Campo, with us. Big Searcy, Matty, we are all ready to go. Listen, you start looking at this team of 53, and we had this discussion yesterday, guys. It looks like it was harder to make these cuts. It looks like there might be a better football team all in all this year. But at the end of the day, Leon, I was a little shocked by a couple of guys that got clipped and a couple of guys that made it. I was surprised.
Well, I was too when Matt Hayes came in here and told me some of the guys that got clipped, and most of the guys got clipped a little long in the tooth, a little old. The Jaguars went young, which means they're going to develop the talent. I guess when Shah Khan says enough was spending all this money on free agency,
true.
We need to have some of these young guys develop and make sure that they're quality players, and some of the guys. But you know what? I think it was a lot more difficult to make the cuts. I wasn't in the building or whatever, but I'm sure it was, and that's attributed to the competition and the drafting and all the other kind of stuff. So that's good to see that you've got a team that's going to be competing for roster spots, and now you're down to the 53. But like you said, we could still be making some moves.
Yeah.
Because there's some veterans guys out there, some young guys out there got cut. So I don't think the moving and maneuvering is done yet.
Yeah. And Matt, when we went into camp, did you think a guy named Odemiwo would make the 53-man? But he made plays. Odemiwo said, hey, look at that name on the back of my jersey. Make sure you get it right. And he's one of the surprise guys that makes the 53.
He is. I will tell you this. There are a couple guys in there that you see and you're like, I'm glad they made it because they worked to make it. Ledbetter's another one.
Yeah.
He had a really good camp. He worked his tail off to make the team. I like guys like that. There are other guys where you're kind of like, I don't know about that. Like, like Deontay Prince.
I like him.
I think he could be, but we didn't really see anything from him in the camp.
Well,
he never really stood out. Coach,
jump in here because I know your eyes have been on the secondary as much as any of us. Coach even looks at us. He goes, I'm going upstairs. And he goes into the stands at the Mecca just so he can see him from up above. But Deontay Prince, at least what I see of this guy, long arms, good instincts, hunts the ball down quickly. What did you like about him?
Well, the guy's talented. I mean, he can run. He's long, like you said, and he's one of the guys that you definitely, offensive line and corners are the toughest ones to find because you get a guy like C.J. Henderson that was with us. It just got cut again today. You think he's going to be good because he's athletic. This guy is athletic, but he showed that he's a competitor. He did some things out there that I really like. Would I say that would you put him in ahead of Flowers, for example, probably
Go ahead.
not.
Tell the scenario that I said
Probably
earlier
not.
prior
Well,
to the
that's
show.
what you
I
said.
said,
You know, if
if
somebody
you're in
got
game
hurt-
one, somebody gets hurt, who are you putting in?
Yeah, and you probably say, okay, well, maybe at this particular time right now, you probably put Flowers in because of experience. But at the same time, this is not just about today or tomorrow.
That's it right there.
It's about going forward. And I think
It's also about protecting draft picks. Let's be honest, okay?
Okay. So, Coach and I are doing our podcast. We just wrapped it up. It'll be pushed out on social. And one of the theories I hatched with Coach, and I'm sure we're all going to hatch it, is based on what you just said, Leon. Sean said,
Yeah.
quit asking me to write checks in February. Let's start writing checks from guys we drafted in April. And so maybe he did say, hey, I'm going to go ahead and lean to the younger side. But the point I made to Coach is that there are some undrafted cats. He's not necessarily just protecting his draft class because he said goodbye to Braswell. He said goodbye to Hallett, guys that he has drafted, granted on the butt end. But you've got 8 draft picks that made this squad. Will they stay on this squad? I don't know for how long, but 8 of them made it. And you can make an argument for most of them. You can't keep cutting guys and go with veterans and expect that you're going to be able to build a long-term football team.
Let me say one other thing about that. You said it earlier. We don't know if the only thing we know today is the guys that got cut.
Right.
We don't know the guys that are going to line up in the 53-man roster against Miami.
Yeah.
There's guys out there. They could make a decision tomorrow. To bring a guy on. So to me, what we're looking at today really is the guys that got cut.
Right.
Why were they cut or why weren't they? That's the key.
Start with a Christian Braswell. That's one of the guys that, all right, either him or Cooks, because we were stumping for Cooks. I think we all were. But reality was Tim Jones, as a 4-core special teamer, will have more impact on a football game as the, quote, 6 wide receiver. He's a very important special teams player. Anyway, Cooks doesn't make it. Braswell doesn't make it. That was one of the other guys that kind of surprised me.
But I think both those guys will be picked up. Those are 2 guys that can play in this league.
I wonder if they'll make it back to the squad.
Maybe. Maybe.
Because everyone, honestly,
I think
every
Cooks
market is having this.
Man.
Every market's having the same discussion with fringe guys. You know that.
No, I do.
Yeah.
I do. I think Cooks is different because of his size, and he can run, and he's long. And he's one of those guys. Everybody needs one of those guys down in the red zone where you got it. It's a 50-50 ball, and you got to hope that your guy's got the better shot than the other guy to get it.
And he, I guess, and again, this is recency bias, but it seems like he made more plays in games in this preseason than he did a year ago.
I agree with that. Yeah.
The one
that
thing
means other eyes would be on him.
Yeah.
Here's my feeling on those things. You look at the offense. Very few guys did you think was going to get cut, make it to this point. Very few. But on defense, though, it's a product of what Nielsen did. He gave all guys a chance to make this football team. He had them out there. He had guys that ended up getting cut out there with the first unit a couple times. He gave everybody an opportunity, and a guy like Braswell, that's why I bring it up. You got Jerry and Jones, you got Savage, and you've got Antonio Johnson. All 3 of those guys could play nickel. Okay, so he's not only a product of not good enough, he's a product of at the position that he was playing. We've got other ways to handle it that do something else for us. For example, Savage could play safety.
True. Yeah.
Antonio Johnson plays safety. You're expecting him to start at safety. So some of it is based on the position that you're at, and you kind of go from there. And then, of course, Cooks is a casualty of special teams.
It really is.
Very simple.
It's showing that value at that position. You've got to be able to be valuable. And Tim Jones is cat quick, smart on special teams, runs a couple of those gunner positions, and just really make sure that you're going to give that other team you're going to give your team the best amount of field to defend and give them lousy starting field position.
This is a great one for Leon. Leon, at the beginning of this training camp, did you think Hance would be here ahead of Van Lanen.
I did.
Absolutely.
At the beginning. Absolutely at the beginning, I did. I thought he was going to be But as I watched him in practice and I watched him in games, Van Lance outperformed him.
Yeah.
We got about 6 tackles now. We got about 6 tackles. But you could tell when I isolated him by watching the film, he was solid across the board.
And you
run blocking and pass protecting.
Yeah, you came out with Van Lanen, a couple of weeks ago,
yeah.
something like that. And I'm like, gosh, man, I don't know if he's – and obviously your craft, your eyes, and he makes it. I don't know whether he sticks and stays, but he's considered an outside guy. Meanwhile, Blake Hance was considered inside-outside, could cross-train, but does not win a race.
Well, I said it last week when we was talking about it last week. You said, would I keep Hance or Van Lance? And I said, I will cut Hance and keep Van Lance.
Yeah, right. I think we all really, but it really is a product of them giving him an opportunity to win the job. The same thing with, they gave Braswell every opportunity to unseat one of those other guys, and he really couldn't do it.
Yeah,
he couldn't do it. There were too many guys there ahead of him.
And there was an isolated moment last week when they played Tampa Bay where the guys next to him were terrible. They gave up pressures and they gave up sacks, and Van Lance was the only solid guy.
Right.
He was the only one that didn't give up any pressures and any sacks. So he stood out, and I'm sure the coaching staff is watching that on film. It's like, okay, these guys are struggling interiorly, but Van Lance, the guy next to him, is solid as a rock the whole game. So, I mean, that right there gets you on teams.
Yeah. Big Source is renamed him. I love it. I'm just going to go with Van Lance.
Van Lance. Van Lance, yes.
All 9 guys made the team. All 9 rookies in that draft class.
Yeah.
And Robinson's designated return. Yeah. But 9.
It is 9.
They're all there.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good draft.
Well,
we don't know.
Well, I mean, I don't know if it's a good draft, but it's certainly like, all right, this is where we're going.
Yeah.
Let me explain something else to you.
I'm counting 8. I don't know why I'm off here.
Let me count on one other thing. Yeah. Trevor Lawrence, Hines Allen.
Yeah.
And
you're missing Cam Little, I'm sure you are.
Yeah. No. Keelan Robinson's on IR.
Yeah.
That's what. Yeah.
Right.
That's the one.
Yeah. Well, he's designated to come back. Yeah.
But he didn't make the squad. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Paying those guys means that a bunch of those youngins have got to make the team from a financial standpoint.
And let's just keep this going because the guys last year that didn't necessarily, like Ventrell Miller, ended up on IR last year. He has now come back and made the roster.
There's 8 guys from that last year, from the 2023 class. 8 of those guys are on this roster.
Yeah, and so that's definitely
that's 16 of the last 2 drafts.
And I do agree that you may be CYA when you're making your roster up, but at the same time, if Tank Bigsby has himself a good year, we got a lot of ifs out there. We used to call them the Jacksonville ifs. Then he looks like a very good pick. These other guys that are trying to prove that they could be rotational guys, even Britton Strange is the third tight end. He needs to make his share of plays. So let's keep it going on that front. All right, who bummed you, or which cut bummed you out the most, and which guy making the roster has you the most fired up? All right, so you guys can hit the text line. Designed by Lifetime Enclosures at 641-1010. You can jump on YouTube, hit the chat there. Charles said, Joe, it's kind of a bummer you fall in love with, quote, your guys from camp, then to see them cut. Kind of sad. And I agree, man. Training camp Trammell was one of my dudes. Him and Miles Cole.
Cut me to the white meat.
Well, yes, it hurt. But him and Miles Cole were the 2 guys I picked. Miles Cole made it. Miles Cole is a big human being that made it on the edge. We'll find out if he can do anything, but he could be a nice 7th round find. First guy ever drafted out of Texas Tech by your Jacksonville Jaguars. It is XL Primetime on a Beaver Chevy Beaver Toyota Tuesday. We are cranking right now. We would love you guys to jump in with us as far as the roster is concerned. What do you think? What do you like? What don't you like?
XL Primetime's Coach Dave Campo is brought to you by Bold City Heating and Air. Online at boldcityac.com. The First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL. Dan Hicken and Jeff Prosser, making your morning a little more fleet of foot.
You make me feel like dancing.
Put some spring in your step with a drill on 1010XL.
Jags fans, a new Everbank Performance account could be your ticket to London this October. Through the Everbank London Getaway, one lucky winner and a guest will receive round-trip airfare, hotel accommodations, and a pair of tickets to see the Jags play in London. To learn more and for official rules, visit everbank.com/London. No person necessary to enter or win. Open to legal residents of 50 United States and D.C. 18 or older. Entry period for the Everbank London Getaway Sweeps is from 8/5/24 to 9/5/24. To enter and for official rules, alternate method of entry, prize description, odds of winning, and other details, visit everbank.com/London. Sponsor and administrator, Everbank NA.
Hey guys, this is David Garrard, and I want to tell you about Clearwater Irrigation. They put my new sprinkler system in at my new home at Jack's Beach, and I couldn't be happier. Oh, hey John.
What's up, Dave? You know what this means. You're going to have to sing.
Man, I can't sing.
Then you'll fit right in, buddy. Clearwater Irrigation. We can't sing a lick, but we sure are good at sprinklers. Hit it, Dave.
And drainage too.
ClearwaterJacks.com.
This is Tony Baselli, Pro Football Hall of Famer. I was known for protecting our quarterback. These days, I'm extending that protection to a different arena, your home. I have partnered with Heritage Roofing of North Florida, your premier local roofers with over 25 years of experience. Heritage is your go-to roofer for hurricane preparation, with same-day inspections and estimates. They also work with all insurance companies. Let Heritage Roofing of North Florida safeguard your home and family. Visit heritagenfl.com for your free estimate today.
State license CCC 1335410.
This summer, beat the heat at Best Bet, your premier poker destination. Whether you're a seasoned poker pro or a first-time card player, you'll find a cool retreat from the summer heat with thrilling poker games, big payouts, and refreshing drinks. Join us for an unforgettable experience. Cool off and cash in at Best Bet. The stakes are high, the cards are hot, and your chance for fun is guaranteed. Visit bestbetjacks.com to learn more. That's bestbetjacks.com.
Brackish Vodka, the official vodka of UNF Athletics, 100% made in Jacksonville, is available at all local liquor stores. Visit Browdy's, Total Wine, ABC, Shores, Golden, Sahara's, Golden Ox, and more. Drink our gluten-free San Francisco Spirit award-winning vodka and see why it's the smoothest vodka you can buy. When you drink Brackish Vodka, you support all of our local employees and all the money stays in Jacksonville. Drink Brackish Vodka and live life slightly salty. Proud partner of the Jaguars.
Go inside the huddle with our QB, David Garrard.
Hey, I know if you give me time, baby, we can do whatever we want.
And get into the head of an NFL signal caller. Mondays from 10 to noon on Jaguars Today. Brought to you by WaterboyJacks.com on 1010XL.
Hey Jacksonville, Lauren Brooks here from Helmets and Heels. Are you looking for quality tires that won't break the bank? Big Chief has you covered. Right now, they're offering 6-month financing with the CFNA card, plus $50 off your next service. With no interest for 6 months, it's the perfect time to get those new tires. Schedule your appointment today at BigChiefTire.com or call 904-932-0950 to take advantage of this incredible deal. Big Chief Tire keeps Jacks rolling.
This is Mark Nato. My sons and I have seen the doctors and PAs at Southeast Ortho for everything from lumbar spine stress to elbow tendonitis. Southeast has always been there, been truthful, and always been on point. Everything they say happens. We can't thank them enough for what they've done and the great care that they have taken of our sons.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Need protection? Call Craig and Christine Kaprosky at Goosehead Insurance. The Kaproskys are a husband-wife team committed to finding you the right coverage at the right price in just a few short minutes. For home, auto, flood, or specialty insurance, Craig and Christine Kaprosky are the answer. Craig.Kaprosky at Goosehead.com.
The Sunshine State says it all in the nickname. That summer sun in Florida can take its toll on an air conditioning unit and send your electric bill through the roof. Florida Home AC can help you handle the heat with a brand new AC unit with low monthly payments and over $3,000 in federal tax credits on select systems. So this summer, don't sweat it out. Cool off with Florida Home AC, the official AC company of the Jaguars. Call them today, 777-4300, and check out their tremendous savings on a brand new AC system.
Our slogan, Know Before You Blow, applies to more than just DUI cases. Hi, I'm attorney Lee Lockett of Lockett Law. Battery charges can result in jail time and criminal convictions too, so know before you blow a gasket and hit a loved one or a stranger. Drug crimes like possession of marijuana and cocaine will land you in cuffs too, so know before you blow. In a boating under the influence case, you also have the option to blow or not to blow. So know your options. Know before you blow. Go to knowbeforeyoublow.com now. Offices Jacksonville.
Blue here for the Blue Crab House, located right off of San Jose. It's on Jewington Creek Road. They've been around since 1996. Indoor-outdoor dining. Also, takeout is available at the Blue Crab House. Open 4:30 to 9, Tuesday through Saturday. Sunday, noon until 9. Remember, Tuesday, $2 margaritas. Wednesday, $1 oyster night. How about the blue crabs? How about my personal favorite, the Canadian snow crabs? Whatever it is that you fancy, you get it right there. The Blue Crab House.
RJ Saunders here, sports lovers. I recently took a tip from Frank Frangie when I needed to send flowers to my mother. Frank told me that Kuhn Flowers is the only florist he ever uses. So that's what I do now. I use Kuhn Flowers. Find them online at kuhnflowers.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. That just happened. Brought to you by Florida Home AC, the official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
This guy could have been a Jaguar if you go back in time, if Herb had his way, or if the Giants hadn't made Kadarius Toney their number one first-round choice. He has left the Giants. He went to the Chiefs. He made his share of mistakes and some rap albums, and now he is cut by the Kansas City Chiefs. So Kadarius Toney, former first-round draft pick, let go. And apparently, as Tom Pelissero of the NFL Network is reporting, is that they were trying to trade him and could not get anybody to bite. That makes total sense to me. Remember, towards the end, it was a flame-out situation by Kadarius Toney. When his Chiefs were making a run.
Boy, he is a classic example of the guy who did nothing in college. Oh, this is my money year? Big year.
Yeah.
And then first-round pick, big contract, and then back to the same guy he was. This is just we talk about that all the time, Leon. The guys in college, their money years, and all of a sudden they play big. But you've got to be able to discern. If you're a draft, you're a coach like Dave was, you got to be able to discern, is this the true guy? Or is the true guy what he was the first few years?
Yeah, that's why as a scouting department, you got to do your due diligence. You got to ask questions. You got to ask teachers. You got to ask people, that guidance counselor, what kind of dude is he? What kind of guy is he? Because, I mean, there's guys who, I always say there's guys who love the game of football, and there's guys who love the shiny parts that come with football. Mm-hmm. Most of the guys.
Money.
Yeah, that part. There it is.
Yeah, and a chance to make albums, stuff like that. Well, all right, real quick. Toney, when it's all said and done, he finishes 2023, 27 grabs, 160 yards, and a touchdown. Did not appear in a game after week 15. So that's basically how he will be viewed in Kansas City. When he was given a second chance, and remember, he made a couple of plays early. When you go back to this squad, what was that, in 2022, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 2022.
Well, I mean, listen, when teams don't trust you, they're not going to play you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and the trust doesn't just start on the field. The trust starts the week before the game, right, Coach?
Right.
In the meeting rooms, are you showing up on time? Are you going to practice on time? Are you in the weight room? Are you in the study room? All that kind of stuff equates to whether a team is going to trust you to play you on Sunday or not. And if you aren't doing all those things are not checkboxed throughout the week, then we can't play you because you're not doing your due diligence.
Yeah. So Kadarius Toney was a first-round draft pick. Year before that was C.J. Henderson.
I was just going to say was my next comment.
Yeah. C.J. Henderson, number 9 overall by the Jaguars, now released from his third
He's a perfect example of what Leon's talking about with the scouts, because I thought he was a guarantee just watching 3 films and watching his athletic ability. But I had no idea about his character and his background and all that, how much he loved football. My next-door neighbor, who's a Florida guy, said, I can't believe they took C.J. Henderson. I said, well, he's pretty
You fell in love
athlete.
with his speed. That's what you fell in love with.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you see some things, but at the same time, you have to you've heard me say many times when we talk about a player, we see a player for 17 games, but the guys in the locker room, the coaches see him every day.
Right.
So you lean towards the guys in the locker room.
Yeah. You better believe it. All right, so off the text line, Design by Lifetime Enclosures, you guys can hit us there at 641-1010. You can jump in the chat on YouTube, but we'll fire off a few of these, and then you guys jump in on some of the things that how did Monteric Brown make it over Flowers or Braswell? That actually is the thing that Coach just said. They see a lot more. Buster Brown got lit up for trying to light up Gabe Davis, but there might have been some of those defensive coaches that said, "Oh, I like that."
Yeah, absolutely.
I like that.
Yeah.
And so Buster, at the very least, has made it now into his third year, draft pick out of Arkansas. And so Flowers, the experience, they just said, you know what, we might need him later. We'll come back and get him. Braswell, I would agree with the texter. I thought he had a real good shot.
Yeah, I think he had a good shot, but again, that was a positional decision, in my opinion. I don't think they felt he was good enough to play outside, and they had the guys